Stay with me for the next few minutes. If right now you feel you're walking through an emotional storm, this may be the one message you didn't know you needed. There are moments in life when the world feels like it's collapsing around us, when the sky turns dark and the waves of uncertainty crash over our heads, when people disappoint us, when doors close without warning, when nothing we've built feels safe anymore. Most of us, in that moment, forget everything we've ever been taught. We forget what we know. We forget who we are. We forget we have a light. And yet, there is something deeper than memory, deeper even than faith, that begins to rise inside us during those storms. A quiet voice, a flicker in the chest, a pulse in the darkness that says, "You've been here before. You've survived worse. You were born for this. The storm isn't here to destroy you. It's here to reveal you." You see, when the night sky looks the darkest, that's when the lighthouse becomes the most necessary. People think the lighthouse is built to shine, but that's not entirely true. It's built to shine through fog, through chaos, through the darkest night. It shows the way not because it's beautiful, but because it refuses to go out. You are that lighthouse, you always have been. And no matter how many storms you've walked through, no matter who left you, what was taken, or how lost you felt, you are still standing. Listen, this message is not for people who have never broken. It's for the ones who broke and still rose. The quiet warriors, the old souls, the keepers of light who don't even know they are. Stay with me, because today I'm going to show you something you may have forgotten. The storm isn't bigger than you. It is how you remember who you are. There's something nobody tells you when you begin your healing journey. Light doesn't erase darkness. It reveals it. We grow up believing that healing is a straight line, that once we do the work, the shadows disappear. But the truth, the kind that ancient souls have always known, is this. Darkness doesn't come to punish you. It comes to refine you, just like a blacksmith places raw metal into fire, not because it is weak, but because it has potential. You were never meant to stay unshaped. Every storm that roared through your life, every moment that made you curl into yourself, cover your heart, or question your worth, was not evidence of your failure. It was evidence of your becoming. You are not behind, you are in process. That's the part people conveniently forget. When the darkness arrives, it doesn't announce itself gently. It crashes in, it jolts you awake. Sometimes it forces you to feel everything all at once. Pain you ignored, disappointment you swallowed, truths you weren't ready to face. And yes, it's terrifying when it happens. You may have even said, "Why now? Why me? Why again?" But understand this. Only those who are ready for elevation get called into the storm. Not everyone is called. But those who have something ancient inside them. They are given storms that take them to the edge of who they've been, so they can become something more. You may not see it now, but every storm left you with something. More courage, more awareness, more compassion, more wisdom, and above all, more light. You were not meant to rise in sunshine. Sunshine teaches you very little, but storms teach you everything. They teach you how to surrender without giving up, how to keep breathing even when the air feels thin, how to stay rooted while everything else changes. If you're walking through darkness now, hear this. You did not call it in because you're broken. You are meeting it because you're ready to see what you really are, ready to relearn what was always true. You were not made to flicker, little flame. You were made to shine in the kind of darkness that scares others. That is why you've been through so much. It's not because you're cursed. It's because you hold something most people don't. The kind of light that cannot be taught, only remembered. The lighthouse metaphor. What it really means. We often use the image of a lighthouse to describe resilience, but most people miss what it truly represents. A lighthouse is not built for calm seas. It's not built for gentle breezes or pretty views. It is built for chaos. It stands alone, often on a rough coastline where the waves are violent and the wind is ruthless. It is designed for the storm. But here's the part most forget. The lighthouse does not move. It doesn't chase ships. It doesn't rearrange itself to keep others comfortable. It stands where it is, unwavering, and shines, even when no one is looking. Even when the night is empty, even when the waves are so loud that no one could possibly hear its quiet strength. Because the lighthouse understands this. Its power isn't in being seen. Its power is in being there. That's you. Even when your world feels wild and uncertain, there's a part of you that's never, ever moved. The part that survived, the part that kept loving, the part that didn't break, even when everything else did. That part is your lighthouse. You may feel cracked, you may feel tired, but something inside you still whispers, I'm still here. I haven't gone out. There is a light in me that refuses to die. You don't have to feel strong to be strong. You don't have to feel radiant to carry light. The lighthouse doesn't glow because it feels powerful. It glows because it was built for this very moment. And so were you. Your storms may be emotional, spiritual, physical, or all three at once. But the truth remains, you are not failing. You are fulfilling your design. You're learning what it means to shine when it's hardest, to stay rooted when everything in you wants to collapse, to keep your light steady, even when nobody thanks you for it. You weren't meant to shine for the world. You were meant to shine through the storm. Even if only one soul sees your light, even if that soul is just you, you have already changed something, and that is enough. The science of inner illumination. We talk about inner light as a metaphor. But what if it isn't just symbolic? What if there is a literal light inside you? One science is only just beginning to understand. In 1923, a scientist named Alexander Gurwitch made a discovery. Living cells emit biophotons, tiny particles of light. This isn't spiritual language. This is measurable physics. Biophotons radiate from your DNA. Your body literally glows, silently and constantly, even though the light is too faint for the naked eye to see. And here's something even more extraordinary. When you're emotionally stressed, traumatized, or in deep fear, your light emission becomes irregular. But when you meditate, pray, feel gratitude, or enter states of love, your light becomes more coherent. Your inner light doesn't just fade or grow metaphorically. It pulses in response to the state of your heart. You are not just a soul wrapped in skin. You are a lighthouse of living light, down to your cells. Every time you've gotten back up when you fell. Every moment you've offered love instead of revenge. Every breath you've taken when you could have given up. Your light has responded. And here's another secret science doesn't talk about loudly. The heart, not the brain, is the main electromagnetic broadcaster in your body. Your heart's field extends up to 3 meters beyond your skin, and it carries the record of your emotions, beliefs, and deepest truths. When you stand in your power, even silently, people can feel it. You've noticed this before, haven't you? You walked into a room and the atmosphere instantly shifted. You said something at just the right time and someone told you, I needed to hear that. You stood quietly beside someone who was hurting, and they suddenly cried in relief. That is not coincidence. That is your inner lighthouse working in real time, shining beyond words. This is not sentimentalism. This is frequency. This is resonance. This is you, a being whose light becomes stronger the more you heal, and whose soul calls people home without ever saying a word. So if part of you has forgotten how powerful you are, let this be your reminder. Your body is not your boundary. Your light is your reach. And I promise you this, not a single storm can blow out what you're here to shine. When you forget you are the light, let's be honest, there are days when none of this feels true. Days when you don't feel like a lighthouse, when everything hurts. When the body is tired, the mind is foggy, and the soul is quiet. Days when something inside whispers, I'm done. These are the days you don't need motivation. You don't need pressure or positivity. You don't even need answers. You just need a gentle reminder. Your light is not gone. You just can't see it right now. Because sometimes, even a lighthouse needs to rest. You see, the lighthouse doesn't shine for itself. It shines for others. But when the night is particularly long or cruel, even the lighthouse keeper needs to refill the oil. You are allowed, deeply allowed, to have days when your light feels low. Not because you failed, but because your soul is recalibrating. You are not weak when you retreat. You are not falling backwards when you rest. You are not disappearing when you go quiet. You are refueling. And I want you to hear this with your whole spirit. The light inside you is permanent, not perceived, real. Even if you cannot feel your light on a heavy day, others still can. Why do you think people come to you when they're hurting? Why do strangers open up to you for no reason? Why have you carried others through things they didn't even realize you helped them survive? Because even in silence, your presence is luminous. Every time you have cried and then dried your own tears. Every time you have encouraged others while feeling broken yourself. Every time you have chosen kindness when life felt unkind, you have proven something profound. You don't shine because you feel bright. You shine because it is in your nature. So if today is one of those quiet days, one of those I don't feel like enough days, take this breath with me. You are still the lighthouse. Even if your flame is small, especially when your flame is soft. Because sometimes the faintest light in the dark is the one that saves someone's life. Stay with me, beautiful souls, to remember how to become the lighthouse again. It's one thing to understand the metaphor, but how do you become the lighthouse, especially when life feels dark? I'll tell you something I've learned from years of observing the human soul. You don't become the lighthouse by pretending everything is okay. You become it by staying present through the storm. Here are 5 ways to reconnect with your light, even when it feels unreachable. 1. Return to the breath when you're overwhelmed. The mind can pull you into past pain or future fear. But the breath, it anchors you to now, the only moment where healing ever happens. Practice, close your eyes. Inhale for 4 counts. Hold for 4. Exhale for 4. Imagine that with every breath out, you release a little weight from your shoulders. And with every breath in, a quiet light grows in your chest. This is not just breathing. This is re-entry into your body, into the lighthouse. For you too, stop trying to shine. Just be. You don't need to force your light. Not every day will be radiant. Not every moment will feel powerful or poetic. But hear this, you don't lose your worth when your light dims. You are still valuable in the quiet. You are still powerful in the pause. Sometimes, showing up, exactly as you are, is the greatest act of light you'll ever make. 3. Let the waves teach you, not consume you. The waves in your life, the emotional ones, are not random. Every one of them has a message. Some are teaching you boundaries. Some are teaching you forgiveness. Some are teaching you that being soft is not the same as being weak. Take time to sit with the wave instead of running from it. Ask your storm, what are you here to teach me? You may be surprised at what answers rise up from within. 4. Protect your inner flame from the wind. Just like every lighthouse has thick walls to protect its fire, you need boundaries to protect your soul. Not everyone has earned access to your energy. Not every person, conversation, or space is safe for your heart. And that's okay. You don't have to explain your boundaries to anyone. You are the keeper of the light. You decide who gets close. 5. Speak light into your life. Words are spells. Every time you say, I'm exhausted, I'm useless, I'll never get through this, your body listens. Your cells respond, so even when you don't feel it yet, speak life anyway. Try saying, I'm tired, but I'm here. This storm will pass. My light is steady even when I can't feel it. You don't have to believe these yet. That part comes later. Just speak them. The lighthouse keeper doesn't wait for the storm to end before turning on the light. They light the flame because of the storm. You are not the storm, love. You're the one who survives it and shows others how to do the same. You've done it before, you'll do it again. That's who you are. We are nearly at the end of the video, so please stay little while longer. Let's say this out loud together, even if whispering in your mind. I may not always feel strong, but I am still here. That alone, that is light. You don't need to roar to be powerful. You don't need to glow to be radiant. Lighthouses don't question their worth. They simply shine anyway. Through grief, through heartbreak, through uncertainty, through silence. And now, it's your turn. Not because the world demands it. Not because you have to be on all the time. But because something deep inside you already knows. This world is not as dark as it seems. It is full of flickering souls, waiting for permission to remember their own light. And maybe, just maybe, your voice, your story, your survival will be the spark that helps them find their own way back. You don't have to tell people your whole story. You don't have to share the details of every wound. Just speak from where you are right now, with softness, courage, and truth. That is what makes people trust you. That is what makes you powerful. So to the one listening, if today feels heavy, I want you to carry this with you. You are not lost. You're transforming. You are not forgotten. You are rising. You are not weak. You are learning how to hold the light in the dark. And if life knocks you down again, as it sometimes will, you already know what to do. Rest if you need to. Cry if you must, but don't dim your light just because the night feels long. You are the lighthouse, you are the guide. You are the soul who refuses to let darkness win. And somewhere, someone is watching your glow across the waves. And because you didn't give up, they won't either. Shine anyway, not for applause, not for validation, but because the world needs your light, and your soul was built to give it. This has been Valkyrie. If this woke up a light within you, please leave a heart in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you for stopping by. Until next time, be kind to yourself and others.